Let's start the party.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We are the ultimate power in the universe. This is take 2 of Sunday Long Live Radio with me, Ria Bow in London and Silo in Perth, because the internet stream went down and it was just too painful for you guys to listen to. It looks solid at the minute. I'm just going to kill some airtime for a moment. Guys, can you hear us? Are you back in with us? Just let us know in the YouTube chat if you can hear us. This is take 2 of the show because we had to shut it down because of the stream. But fortunately, we do seem to have a half reasonable stream now. Let us know. We're watching the chat to see if you're with us or not, okay? So I'm just going to hang here for a bit, see if you're around. We may peruse. Morning, Ria. Morning, Mandy. Seems good now. Okay, Powder, so you've got us back on, okay? Welcome back, guys. Sorry about that. I had to reset it. It does do that from time to time. That was not a PooTube thing. That was just an internet thing. So sometimes we have to do it. It's unfortunate, but there you go. Nothing is coming up, says London Ghost Hunter. I'll chill some more. Powder, who can see us? Mandy can see us. Nothing coming up. What else? London Refresh. Night and Day Rio. I've just refreshed this page and you're back. Perfect. We're going to wait for some people to get back in. Sean says, damn Russian gremlins, Russian bots, Russia. That kind of thing. I'm just going to wait for people to get in the chat. 5pi5 says Mixie. Perfect. London, you need new invites. You just refresh the page, guys. So see if you can put that in there. Okay, I'm back, says London Ghost Hunter. Wait for you guys to get back in the chat. In fact, I'll play a tune while you're getting back in the chat, I think. Where are we going to go? We're going to go upbeat. We're going to go downbeat. I don't know. We're going to keep it cool because it's still Sunday, right? I'm going to play you a bit of Marvin Gaye and Let's Get It On while you guys get back in the chat, okay? I love this.
Get it on, sugar, let's get it on. Ooh, we're all sensitive people with so much to give. Understand me, sugar, since we got to be here. Let's live. I love you. There's nothing wrong with me loving you, baby, no. And giving yourself to me can never be wrong if the love is true. Oh, baby,
all-time favorites.
My fellow Americans, in tough economic times like these, you should not go to Las Vegas and blow all your cash to have fun. Come to where the real action is. Washington, D.C. Why pull a lever on a slot machine when you can take a chance and roll the dice on 1/6 of the economy with national health care? Double down on stimulus spending and win big money for your friends back home. Or if you're a really high roller like me, scare the banks and raise taxes right in the middle of a recession. Come on, 7. Crapped out again. But believe me, you can't lose when you're playing with other people's money. Give me another choice. Make that 2. And they have great accommodations and food. You can have Kobe beef every night if you want. And when you leave Washington, they comp you with a fat pension and health care that's out of this world.
Travel provided by Pelosi Airlines. Catch an all-you-can-drink flight anytime you like, 24/7.
So what are you waiting for? Come to where the real action is. Washington, D.C. And leave Las Vegas behind.
New from Class Envy Productions, the people who brought you Obamacare, Cleopatra Obama, and Barry's got a brand new stash. An all-new exploitation picture starring Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, and a cast of millions and millions of unemployed Americans who all got the shaft.
Members of Congress and my fellow Americans, while on vacation, working on my new jobs plan, I realize there are steps we can take right now to improve people's lives. But I want to continue to build roads and bridges, protect union jobs, and pay people to sit at home for another year. And every proposal I've laid out will be paid for by our children. There is the man who never had any other plan except the... Damn right. He's the cat who won't slow down when the country's going south. From the Shout. Can you dig it? You see, this cat Barry is one dumb mother.
Shut your mouth.
I'm just talking about Obama.
Oh, okay.
He's not a complicated man, but nobody understands him but his woman.
Michelle.
Barack! Barack!
You didn't eat the apples in your Happy Meal, but I don't want to.
The Shaft, now playing in an economy near you.
Damn
United
right.
States Secretary of State. For directions, press 1. For tour information, press 2. For help with a problem, please press 3.
For help with your problem, please continue to hold.
You are caller number 1014.
For faster results, press 6 for our foundational concierge service. Welcome to Pay for Play. Help 3 needy Americans and get your business deal approved overnight by making a voluntary tax-deductible donation to the Bill, Hillary, and sometimes Chelsea Clinton Foundation. Enter your gift amount now with the touchtone keys on your phone and wait for instructions. For $500, you couldn't look at the building for that. $5,000, great. You're now on our Christmas card list. $50,000 will get you a complimentary coffee mug with her face on it and a Christmas card. $5 million? How can we help you? Endorse your dictatorial regime, approve your sketchy international transaction, or provide you with needed national security secrets. For $5 million, we can do it all. Just send your request and credit card number in an email. Please make it in the form of a yoga class schedule or wedding planning questions. A product of Pay for Play. Bye-bye.
This station
You
is
have
now
reached
the
the
ultimate
office
power
of
in the universe.
United States Secretary of State. For directions...
Oh, that was the end of it. Hey guys, how you doing? Hey. We had to do some tech stuff, right? I needed to play some adverts while we were going on. I hope you're doing okay. We've played lots of songs for Remembrance Sunday today. We've got the chat going again. We seem to be up and running. What else have we got? Powder, link to the live stream if you need it. Is that a Tommy one, is it? Morning, Peter. Just let us know, Powder, if that's the link to Tommy's live stream, would you please? And then we might take a little look at that. Meanwhile, Silo, what else have you got for us today?
Well, before I start, I'd just like to go through the live chat. Mixie Loyal, Powder, Day and Night. There's a lot of people that are showing a lot of love to us, and Gary, Batfink, I'm reading all your messages, but being a guy, I can't really read and talk at the same time. If I do it, I just fumble myself up, which you probably heard me try to do a few times. And 12 Volt, it's your birthday, I hear, so happy birthday. And also, he was asking earlier when I was in the chat line about Pauline Hanson. And my thing with Pauline Hanson, I'm starting to see her a bit like Australia's version of Trump, but a female version. Like, she's very staunch, has her ways, loves her country, very patriotic. And the media seem to have been attacking her just like they're attacking like Tommy and Trump and anyone else that stands up for their country. And she started the One Nation Party. She was running a fish and chip shop in her little country town. And like they infiltrated her party and made her out to be all these things. Like, she even went to jail for 12 months just to prove a point and to stand up for herself, which made me, from that moment on, think that she wasn't playing their game. And she's the one that does things like she dressed up with a burqa on and cruised into our Parliament House when there was all this talk about if these people are allowed to wear burqas and where they're allowed to wear them and that. So she was proving a point, like no one knew who she was until she took the burqa off. Clever, and she trolls them like Trump trolls their lefties and their media. And I met a lady a couple of months back in one of the Discord channels who's apparently close to Pauline. So I was asking her about her, and she was saying, like, yep, just very much down to earth, loves her country, just wants to see Australia stay Australian, really. She's getting a lot of love. And also Paul Lathang, which is he's a politician that got out of politics, but he's actually talking about joining back in the One Nation Party. I seen a bit of a YouTube video on it the other day, and someone asking him like, even there they were trying to put him down. Oh, are you going to be able to work underneath Pauline and all this kind of stuff? And I was quite impressed with the way Mark handled himself, which I have been before anyway, which is why I watch a lot of his YouTube stuff. I don't know if you've come across these people, Rhea, over in your neck of the woods, because they're not big names out there, that's for sure.
No, and Assange started a party. This is not Julian Assange's party, is it?
No, I don't think so. One Nation Party, they're called. And I know Pauline started it, and there's like Julian's from her neck of the woods, so I wouldn't say there wasn't some kind of connection there.
No,
but I don't think so. I've never come across it.
I just saw Julian Assange speaking about when he did have airtime. Oh, Loyal says no. Okay, no problem. Thanks, Loyal. I heard him talking about he'd started a party and there was great uptake. And as I've never heard of the One Nation Party, I wondered whether it was the sort of same thing or not. So, and if it's on, let's say, for the want of a better phrase, on the right, what was Julian Assange a part of it? So you see that covering ground then, Silo?
Yeah, well, she started this back in 1997, 98. So she's been going for a long time, and she rose quite high up in her own party, but they weaseled her out and then but now she's turned around. I think she's a senator, I think, now.
Wow, so she's doing all right. That's quite big news, isn't it?
It's good news that they tried to beat her down and she stood up for herself. Like, she's a true Queenslander. That's how I've always seen her.
A true Queenslander. That's flipping brilliant. It's good. It is growing, is it? The sense of the conversation that many of us have, and up till I feel recently, and still does, but there seems to be a little bit of a breakthrough of the conversation not just being shut down. And so I feel a bit of a change going on, actually. And then when I heard your Aussie Prime Minister come out and say what he said about Australians, you're kidding yourself, you don't think we've got a problem with extreme Islam, just bold as brass. And then I thought, wait a minute, is this more information that the Five Eyes are breaking up? Because they never stay... To hear a Prime Minister... I've never heard a Prime Minister say that other than President Trump. Have you, Silo?
No. You're right, Darren. And it is, I think it's the fact that Trump is doing it and he's showing a path for others that want to do it. Like, there's lots of people out there that all want to stand up and scream and get things changed. But we've been seeing over the years what happens to those people. It's only now that I think it's the power's been given back to us. Like this radio station here alone is just a small example of how we're going to make a big difference over the next couple of years.
Absolutely. I'm just watching the YouTube. I'm watching a lot of tech here to see if this is working properly. Is the YouTube on screen working okay? Oh, it is. I'm seeing it moving. Okay, it's moving a bit slowly. No, I get that. When I look around and I see movement, actually, and I think it's the first time I've ever said that. Usually the topic that comes up is, of course, there's still censorship, but there does seem to be a bit of movement in the upper echelons in what I feel is the right angle. Are you picking up on the same vibe as well?
Yep, it's almost like an energy that's coming over the world, and it's energizing people, I feel. It's like making them want to, I don't know, just start to think out of the box. Well, this is what I'm hoping as well. And more people are coming into Discord, as we're seeing every day, and more people are interested in the truth and not so convinced of what they're being told. It is very encouraging.
I tell you what, I was on American Radio last night, right? And they were talking about Q, and your views on Q are what they are. Hey, Grayanon, how you doing? I think I've said hello to everybody, haven't I? And they are what they are, you know, your views on Q. And we want to do a Q specialist, right? I think I audition a Q specialist for Sunday Long Live during the week, next week. Someone who's going to come on and present a Q segment, maybe with Silo, I don't know, however that works. But we now have someone in the pipeline coming through who's going to sound check an audition for that gig, for that slot. So we may have a Q specialist slot coming up, guys, to put the word out, all going well. He came highly recommended by somebody. So we're going to check him out because I really want a Q segment, right? It's important. The movement is just enormous. And as you say about Discord as well, right? My take on it is this. Whether you're on with Q, off with Q, on the fence with Q, however you see this, in the world of Discord, there's loads of Discord servers with just lovely people in them. And as the authorities have gone through and kind of pretty much disassembled the community, haven't they? The family, the community, it's all not gone in a great way, really, in the real world. But this Discord thing that we're obviously in with our chat room, because there's group voice chats, you just jump in, there's no real tech knowledge needed. I see this bringing people together in a big way, and I see these communities forming on the internet, right? Kind of sad in one way, but kind of lovely in another. And I heard somebody hit a chat room. This chat room must have had, these are people on voice, by the way, they're talking to each other. They're not messaging, they're sharing the here and now with the spoken word. And I heard this new guy arrive. He was from Texas, proper Texan, lovely accent and everything. And he felt so chuffed that he'd met people of a like mind. And I thought, God damn, if nothing else, D-Live has brought that guy to some like-minded people. And I think that's a lovely thing, because sometimes you feel like you're out in the cold. You look around and go, you're all nuts. You know, what's going on? Why does nobody share my viewpoint? And I hear this Texan guy land in his chat room. Man, he was over the moon to be able to speak freely. You've heard this kind of thing before, haven't you, Silo?
Nearly daily, Dan. Like, as you know, I do a lot of work over in Patriot Soapbox, and one of my jobs is to welcome new people in and give them a hand, and I'm finding a lot of them are, let's say, coming on in years. And I found Discord, it's almost like the first real tool that us older generation can get our head around and utilize for our own benefit without all the other muck around that you need to use the internet or try and connect with people or try and shift information around amongst yourselves. And I'm just seeing more of that every day, and the fact that they're more keen to get other people, like their friends and people, you'll probably know this person, or this person's got this information, so they drive them over there. So this is how it's all growing.
Yeah, totally. Like I said, wherever you stand with Q is massive, man. It surprises me on a daily basis, I've got to say. I'm now working with, not working with, kind of working with, but getting to know some super lovely people I would never have met in a million years. And what's more, the process of getting to know them, I just knocked my microphone, isn't tippity tap on a keyboard. You're speaking with somebody. And God, that has so much more value than trading a few messages and reading each other's posts. I can't tell you the value that brings. So I'm really encouraged by what I'm seeing. So guys, if you want to get in our chat room, right, so if you jump in our chat room, and depending on what your gig is, what your thing is, you can be directed to other servers that specialise in said things. It might be Q, it might not be Q. It might be a spiritual thing. Whatever your thing is, jump in our chat room and we'll use it as a service to put you in touch with people that are like-minded to your viewpoint, you know. Not all viewpoints have to overlap to get on with other human beings. So just bear that in mind, would you? So jump in our chat room. So just a quick one on our chat room with up the security level on it, okay? So when you land in our chat room, all you'll be able to see is our welcome page. When you get to our chat room, someone will contact you on a private message, ask you a few questions just to feel out who you are. I'm sure you on here are cool. And then from there, we'll open up the chat room to you so you can see everything, everybody, everything. And then from there, if you're interested in a certain thing, we'll guide you in from there, sort of thing. So there's this huge community just sitting there waiting to speak to you that are like-minded. Bearing in mind that I put out a Sunday Long Live challenge because when we're all communicating tippity-tap on a keyboard, right, it's really easy to get into it. It heats up really fast. So, and it's not as easy with the spoken word. You're less anonymous, you know. You're more exposed. It's more of a soul-bearing kind of thing, isn't it? And the challenge I put out as a Sunday Long Live Radio challenge is if you meet someone in a chat room, tippity-tappity chat room, and they type something that isn't aligned with your viewpoint, before you just rip in, I mean, if you want to rip in, that's up to you, but find something that you do get on with them with. Try and find some common ground before they get taken apart at the seams. I think is a nice way forward. Give a little love. It's not all about, you know, whose views 100% align. They don't, do they? They just don't. Some more than others. You know, it's a moving thing and it's subjective as well. But try and find the good in someone before they just get ripped up. Silo, your thoughts?
Yeah, when it comes to Q, it's not something it's like a game for adults, and it's not something you can play by yourself. It's not solitaire. This is what I've learnt over time. There's just too much information. You got to link things that, like, I've got guys out there are starting to work on all the time differences of when the posts are, and they're all starting to make sense. Because like they say, future proves past. And even down in the beginning, when the Q first started dropping their main posts, I was handwriting them all down. But after a week of that, you realise this is going to be a lot bigger than anyone really expected. And people were jumping on board. Even now, like he dropped a pile of posts today, and I've had probably an hour and a half to go through them. And really in that hour and a half, all I could do really was give them a quick glance over. Like after the show, it's like I'll probably spend 3 or 4 hours just working out the little bits in there that I'm taking for my little side studies.
Absolutely. All I'm saying is, well, you know what I'm saying, right? People have different views about different things. Doesn't mean they've got no love to share, you know. So if somebody's, I don't know, let's take it off a let's say they're into trains, they're train spotters. Doesn't mean they're not cool. Do you know what I mean? You don't just go, oh, right, you don't just write them off at the tap of a button because they do something that's not on your radar. Just spread the love, you know, and be cool. And is what I'm saying is I can't believe how big the community is. And there's loads of people that don't know about it. But a way in, if you're interested in such things, you may be a talker, you know, with voice. You may be a tippity tapper. You may be a voyeur. But there's something there for you, you know. And it just feels like we've gone from the days of Twitter and Facebook and not so much YouTube, where everybody's communicating tippity-tappity, you know, on a keyboard, and it is so easy to get it wrong. It's so easy to misread something. It's so easy to write something down and someone gets the wrong end of the stick, and boom, you've got a Twitter war going on. And that's one of the beautiful things about Discord, the chat rooms. You're using your voice. Some people may have to relearn these skills again. But when you land in a chat room and you're welcomed and it's warm, it's a nice thing, you know. I have definitely 100% seen people get a community back, a sense of community, even if it is online. Any final comments on that one, Silo? Because I love it.
Well, as you know, like we've started our own little community, which is starting to grow. So, and it's not like we've disregarded the old ones. We're just trying to make our others bigger and using the lessons that we're learning, because this is all new technology. It's like, that's why a lot of the older generation are jumping on board, because it's finally caught up to a stage where we can use it as well. And then we're growing our own families. If you don't like someone, well, you can go and start your own little group. And if you're a train lover, that's all Q is. It's just finding all those certain train lovers that like Q and putting them in there going, oh, come over here. And then we're all jumping over there and we're all getting on lovely.
Totally. So it's such a vast spectrum where I think they say loneliness is the worst thing in the world, don't they? Obviously subjective, but just to put it on the map, loneliness is like a terrible thing. Like a really terrible thing. And for someone to be able to speak to like-minded people, I think is just a gift, and a gift that needs encouraging and utilising to its best. And I've met, and think about what older people have got to offer. They've got a wealth of information and experience in life, and if you are someone with your eyes and ears open, they can depart that to you. That's a really wonderful thing, and we are leaving that world behind. Any other day of the week, we'd say respect your elders, because they've done a round or two. It's not their first rodeo. To get your ears open and get learning. But then we're moving into a world where nobody gives a damn about what older people have got to offer because of ageism. It's just, we've gone off on one a bit, right? So your closing comments, I'm going to play you a tune, guys, and we'll change the subject. Your comments, Silo?
Well, fair enough too for the young new school. Like, they look at the old school and go, well, in a way, in their world and what's been created for them, I do feel a little bit useless sometimes. Do you know what I mean? It's like the fact that I've had to spend 3 years trying to get my head around the internet and computers, and it's almost retraining myself. And they're looking at us going, well, you just don't have any idea, and they're right. But once again, we're older and we're wiser and we're smarter, and now the technology is catching up to where we can utilise it. And you'll watch, we'll show them. We're just taking a little bit longer, and we're just being patient, I think, just like Q and Trump.
I don't mind what your gig is, you know. I the whole self-identification thing, I'm all right with that. I'll roll with that. I think Justin Trudeau self-identifying as the Prime Minister is going a bit far. But outside of that, I'm all right with it. Do you know what I mean? Just be cool, put some love out there, and get on with people, because of this anonymity thing on the internet, right? You know there's trolls out there. So guys, if, I know not you listening to this, but if you're new to this, because this is going out on so many platforms, if you are new on the internet, there are people out there that are into baiting you, right? So just don't forget that. You'll never know who they are. You will never know who they are. And they are out to bait you, and they're just going to get you going. So just watch out for them, you know. Some are more subtle than others, but they are absolute trolls. And don't let them get you, you know. Just don't let them get you. All right, we're going to shut it down, okay? Or not going to shut it down. I'm going to play you a song. I'm going to dig a song out. What am I going to dig out for you today? Give us some closing comments while I find a tune, Silo, please.
Well, when it comes to being trolled, I figure that I got trolled by my parents, I got trolled by my teachers, I got trolled by my ex, I get trolled by my kids. So when the trolls come in, it's like, well, I've been dealing with this all my life, so how is it any different? And I think that's a good way to look at it as well.
Yeah, the difference is in the real world, if you rock down the pub or the bar, wherever you are, whatever you call it, there's a lot more going on the senses. You know, all 5 senses are triggered, aren't they? Where when you're tippity-tappity on a keyboard, the connection is just meek and weak, to say the least. There's no accountability, there's no self-responsibility. And people, those trolls, man, they're just out there waiting to catch people out, you know. So the thing with Discord, I think, is huge. And is you won't know when you drop in my server, okay, you will be welcomed and there will be some love going on, you know. It'll take you a little time to get in there because we got raided quite badly the other day, so we've had to step up the security. Again, trolls, right? But it's all cool. Get in the chat room, and then if you chat with me or people in the chat room, if you are into something, whatever that might be, I know another one that's just starting a sermon every Sunday. No, I think it's every Wednesday, actually. This thing is going on, I tell you. So get a piece of the action. It doesn't cost you any more. Go and check it out. Drop in a chat line and someone will chat with you in there. All right, meanwhile, I'm going to play you a song. I'm going to play it really cool on a Sunday. Put your stories in the chat and where you're from, guys, as well. I'm going to play you a bit. I love this song. A bit of George Benson, Give Me the Night. And don't worry, I am still acknowledging this is Remembrance Sunday. Enjoy.
There's music in the air and lots of love everywhere. So Give me the night. Give me the night. Give me the night. Give me the night.
Number one means you're always on top. Your number one radio.
Now, a last-minute Election Day appeal from former President Barack Obama.
My fellow Americans, this election day is not a day to give Donald Trump and the Republicans credit for making things better. Because when I left office, I was almost just about to take the training wheels off our fledgling economy and double our growth. I was on the verge of getting ready to defeat ISIS and stand up to the Iranians. And yes, I would have actively worked to lower prescription drug prices, but I was still too busy lowering the sea levels at the time. So Donald Trump hasn't really done anything. He just followed the notes I left for him on my desk. So remember, this election is not about caravans or borders or walls. It's about being able to keep the health insurance plan you like. Assuming you've been successful enough to find one. Yeah, I was gonna do that too. Honestly. Thank you.
Hello, this is George Soros. The following is a huge clue found in each of the 10 packages sent out to harm Democrats like me. A compact disc recording entitled In Case It Don't Work Right.
Dear Trump-hating scum, I couldn't get the secret double-knot spy bomb timers I seen in that there Bruce Willis Die Hard flick. They ain't got them on the internet. So long story short, I had to settle for the second best deep frying timer they had down here at the Dollar Mart. Now all that being said, in case this here pipe bomb fails to go off, you can still ignite it by one of two ways. First, get your dog to bite off the ends of the pipes, buy yourself some cigarettes to use as a fuse, lay them end to end on the ground and duct tape them all together, then you light the... Well, no, that won't work. I tell you what, get you a gallon of gasoline and pour all over the package and light from a safe distance so as not to burn all the hair off your arm like Charlie did down at the service station that time. Well, I tell you what, just get a hammer and beat on it a while. Yeah, that ought to do it. So good luck and go Trump! Yeah, you scum. Is this thing off? How you turn it off?
Chapter systems are offline.
Number one for today's hits and all-time favorites.
So I'm going to have to reset it again by the looks of it. Let's see if it'll come back or not. The stream has just gone all over the place. Let me hang on. I'm just killing time here a second, see if it'll come back. We're going to try and cover human interaction and the value of it. Yeah, the buffering's there. That was our end, actually. Colton says, why is it always Rhea that cuts off and lags and never the music? That's quite interesting comment, Colson. I don't really know. I'm just checking some stuff out here as well. But it seems to have come back, so I have to roll with it. Human interaction, the value of it, and what Discord has to offer. And do you find that people are struggling with the fact that, oh my God, I've been typing to this person for ages, and then all of a sudden I've got to speak to them. How does that work? Do you see that going on, Silo?
Yeah, I do, darling. It's something I've been taking notes of. YouTube over the years. It's almost like, remember the dating scene when that was first interactive on like your phone and things like that, how people were like the way it turned. And yeah, I think that's why Discord sort of evolved the way it did, because of those early initial programs, and they've realized, you know, it's a little bit too easy to be anonymous and just post up pictures and things like that.
It just seems
Discords and yeah. No, I'm just finding Discord is it's almost like the next step up. Like you can be face to face. It's only a matter of jumping on VoIP and things like that. But it's the fact that you don't even have to be. Quite happy to come on here and honestly be able to say what they want to say and be judged by whoever's listening. And I think that's something we need to do to find out what is in our head is correct as well. Not just judged by ourselves, but judged by the main populace from around the world as well. It's not just the people around you as well. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely. I'm scared that we have been and are moving into a world of tippity tap. People will lose the social skill of speaking with people. And never mind, because it's another skill again, speaking online, isn't it? Because you can't see who you're speaking to, and some people that really affects. Is anybody new in the chat that I haven't said hello to? Sixth Sense Soldier, hiya Sixth Sense Soldier. If I've missed you out, I'm sorry. It sounds absurd to think that people can lose the basic skill of communication, of talking to each other. Because it is a bit weird, isn't it? If you've been communicating with somebody via tippity-tap text, then all of a sudden you can speak to them at the click of a button. Loads of people don't go there. They just don't do it. It's like, ooh, that's a bit weird. I've got to speak to somebody, which means I've got to bear a bit more soul than what I do when I'm tippity-tap on a keyboard. I just wanted to bring that up. So I've gone down a rabbit hole, but I just want to let people know the importance of human interaction with the spoken voice that's so available now to people, rather than just heading for the keyboard, and that's how you're getting on with people. So I'll move on from there, okay? So Silo, what topic have you got for us from Australia this time?
Just before we move on, I'm finding that it's the gamers that are usually, like, they're using the game to hide that ability to communicate. Like, they'll use trolling each other, their characters, whatever. It's where the older generations come along and we're using it to communicate and educate ourselves. So I'm seeing between our generation using it and my kids' generation, what they watch, but we're using it to do research and watch intelligent people give lectures and things like that. It's working out how to bring them on board as well. And once again, I think we're going to just have to all backdoor them. All the parents out there just have to get in the game and drive them all out of there and turn them into researching.
Yeah, totally. I just don't want to see the world go the way. And guys, it can go this way, believe me, or I believe it, where people are only confident behind a keyboard. Do you know what I mean? How many people won't go on video? Do you know what I mean? How many people won't go on video? So that feels a bit more understandable, because you're going to trigger vanity. Some people don't give a damn. Then you got the audio voice, which is a wonderful thing, to share. And then for the last 10 or 15 years, people have been into Facebook, Twitter. Twitter's even worse, because you only get a few characters, and it is like, if you're going to try and do something serious on Twitter, it's like shouting an important message while you fall down a well. You know what I mean? It's just restriction after restriction. The human connection, we're losing it, and I don't want it to be run by robots. I just don't want it to be run by robots. I don't want people to turn into tapping, frail people. I just don't want that, and I sort of see it happening a little bit, so that's why I'm putting it out there. I've got to say, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Morning, darling, how are you doing? We're on a bit of a waffle, so any more comments on that, or do you want to take another story from Oz, Silo?
No, and something else I noticed, it is making us more connected in a way. And like, I've noticed a lot of people, they'll go, oh, I'm at work, and you know what it's like, watching the clock, tick tock, just to get home. And now people, instead of watching the clock, they're jumping in, joining into large conversations. Sure, a lot of them are doing it sneakily, but a lot of people that do it are in jobs that are pretty boring anyway. And also, it's like, it's giving them another focus. It's taking them out of the mundane and realising that there's a lot more going on in the world than what we've been presented over the last few years, that's for sure. But apart from that, that's my comments on that, darling.
Yeah, I agree with everything you've said. You can get in, Because some people aren't, naturally, even in the real world, they're not talkers, and I get that. But they can sit it in and have company and stuff. So I see really good things happening. So ditch Facebook, people. Ditch Twitter. Just get rid of them, They're no good. It's a net, it's a web. And start talking to people and hear someone's voice and so on. So I think it's super important. So what we got in the chat, let me take some of this chat in a minute. Gary says, my generation was fortunate to grow up without mobile devices. Had great childhood using my imagination. Old school. Becky C says, robots are the next war of humanity. AI is the greatest threat to humanity. Well, modern technology is the greatest threat to humanity, and without doubt, in my view, 100%, not too far around the corner, human beings will not be the apex predator on the planet. I'm 100% convinced of that. And there'll be two types of human being, modified and unmodified genetically. I knew it. At least the robots have an excuse for their inhumane behaviour. It's moved. Not so the psychos who program them, though. Yeah, you got the programmers right. But once AI hits the singularity, they won't need a human being to program it. It will do it itself. A living organism, as it were. And it'll have rights and all that kind of stuff. Batfink, I switched my mobile off 2 months ago, Gary. I'm with Public Mobi. If you don't renew your month, you use it. Yeah, I didn't do that very well, did I? Really badly. 12 volt, 110 decibels, my voice. You got a really loud, that is a loud voice, that 110 dB. Blimey. 6 Cent Soldier says, where's it gone? I'm a big supporter of helping the older generation understand social media, YouTube. We owe it to them. Sweetie, I made it a mission of mine, I can tell you. Because where my mum is, my mum's 81, and all the people around her, they're lonely, man. They're lonely, really lonely. And I tell you, their entertainment is the television. That's not so good. And looking out the window. This is the reality that can befall us all. So someone looking out for them is no bad thing. It's not sexy. It's not rock and roll. But to acknowledge their value still is a really important thing. And I really super go out my way to do that. I really do. Hence I'm bleating on about it now, right? Gary says, oh no, that's talking to somebody. 6 Cent Soldier says, a lot of millennials started on Facebook. Now their parents are on. That is very true. They've moved to NPR. That generation is searching. That's a really positive message. 12 volt. Trolls are either bullies or bullied. It's moved. Always giving them a chance before you attack. Interesting. I knew it. So they said, I don't believe they would make something like that without a kill switch. I agree with that as well. I do agree with that. Mobile, don't use it. Powder says at 6 Cent, hello, I'm an older generation and I'm a gamer for 14 years and was a computer tech. We know more than you know. You got to share it, haven't you, Powder? That's the deal. And have the skill set and the social skills to be able to mingle with people from different cultures, different age groups. It's quite a skill set, actually. Batfink, I love rock and roll, die without it. Absolutely. Rock and roll in the bones and all that. Becky C, AI is already spying on us. You're not wrong, Becky. I'll go with that. I believe that is common news. It is absolutely common news, and nothing is private should be common news. Nothing with zeros and ones is private. The end. Start there and get someone to prove you. If they say it's private, you get them to prove it to you, because I don't think that. Powder at 6 Cent Soldier, a lot of retirees play online video games with people online. Yeah, for the company, isn't it? Totally. We have lost the ability to converse with emotion in text. Doesn't always translate or be comprehended properly, says Mixie. Amen to that, Mixie. It is a real minefield that's more mine than field. Unless you've got someone who's running loose and they're kind of cool, they can take it out of context super, super quickly. 12 Volt says, Rhea, is my, what does that say? IK. We're climbing trees when the TV went off air every afternoon. I sort of get that. Did I just, oh man, you just got to see it. And it's just a real reminder of, we lose track of where these youngsters are in their lives and how they view the world. You've got to see it. It's off-putting. Let's see if it will come back. Fingers crossed. Streams all over the place. Oh, Mandy says offline. Let me get, what else have we got? Isn't it a part of the virtue signalling to tell others they should socialise one-on-one, face-to-face while chatting through a live stream instead of doing one-on-one, face-to-face conversation? Is that directed at me, Colson? I'll do a video chat with you, darling. You know, you used to watch me on video every week. So you want to do a video chat? Let me know. Batfink, I heard the AI will be writing music in a few years and songwriters and musicians will become obsolete. That really does. I don't know if that's going to happen. I think that human expression in the arts, I don't see it going away. Yeah, it would add a genre. It would be robot music. I don't know. It won't take away all those Louis Armstrongs and those beautiful people. It won't. I don't believe that would take that away, unless you got to burn in the books like they did in 1984. At Six Sense Soldier, well, God, I'm not lost. I don't have any problems being offline and all alone. I like my company. Yeah, until you don't like it. But that's cool though. Hey, it's not everybody's the same, right? Young people, you can take some comments in a minute, Silo, if you would. Becky C, young people go to college and expect to be entertained. They have a hard time. I agree with that. Grey Anon, when people type to communicate, you have time to think about what you're going to say. That is a really good point. Whereas with voice, it's real time. Very true. And some people's cognitive function isn't the best in the world. But again, that's cool. That's all right. As long as they're giving out the love, it doesn't really matter, does it? Silo, do you want to take some from Batfink downward, because they're really interesting comments?
Yeah, I'll give you a breakdown. Batfink, I feel for you, Powder. Yeah, I do too, darling. I've been chatting with Powder for a few months now on Discord, and we've got quite a good relationship up and running. Mandy Mosley, Powder, I live in a cul-de-sac and my neighbours are lovely, but they live in the road where we have all lived for a long time. See, that's that community feel. It's a good example and something you should be teaching others about, because that's what we're lacking, is the fact that they're taking all these examples